that big one come out.
There you go. Man, that's a big one you got there.
That big one come out there.
Well, it's late in the day and the sun's getting low.
He got it, he got it, he got it.
Let him go. I sure had fun just watching him stretch my line.
There he is.
Oh, there's two of them. I got two of them. Holy cow, look at that. Look at that. Got one on each side.
We going fishing, boy.
Oh, my, look at that. They're both good ones, too. Bring your fish over. You bragging about your big fish.
Oh.
There we go, girl.
I always like that, Jimmy. Hey.
There's one right there, right there. I thought we'd start out on spinnerbait, Joe. Oh, what a great way to start right there. I'm fishing with Joe Hall. Joe's a buddy of mine that has probably done 60 or 70 television shows with us over the last 40 some odd years. And we're just going to keep that tradition going till one of us dies. And then if it's me first, Lord have mercy, what did I say? But if it's me first, if it's me first, I'm just going to let Joe take the boat and do a television show without me. That's a nice, pretty little bass.
Pat and I can handle it.
You can handle it. You can handle it.
That's right.
Remember, on our television show, you have to catch fish, though, Joe.
Oh, there's another stinger.
We have a crazy day out here. Let me tell you. You can see it's misting rain right now, just sort of spitting rain, and but it is actually one of the worst forecasts, severe weather days in the state of Oklahoma. They're forecasting F4 and F5 tornadoes. All of the schools let out just about, there's a few still in session today. Last night, they let out last night. In other words, they canceled school a day in advance. They didn't even wait until, they cancel it just on the forecast. That's how bad it's supposed to be. Now, I thought probably because vegetation is really getting up heavy, we're getting into the summer months, and I thought maybe we'd probably be catching fish on a sinking worm or maybe a little mushroom head jig with a little bit of a pow stick on the end of it, stuff like that. But since it's so cloudy and the weather's so unstable, I told Joe, let's start out with some spinnerbaits and see what happens.
Earth to Jimmy.
Oh, you got a fish.
We're going to have a tree problem here. Come on.
Ooh, that's a big one, Joe. That's a good fish right there.
That's what you first came out here for.
That's what you came to catch?
That's a big one, yes.
That's a good one there. That's a good. Oh, I thought he was bigger than that when he jumped. I thought it was a 5-pounder. I just saw the tail end of the jump.
He's not. You mean he's not 5 pounds?
Yeah, he's 5 pounds, Joe. Oh, that's a 5-pounder, Joe.
One fisherman to another. Yes, he's 5 pounds.
He's a 5-pounder, Joe.
Yeah, someday.
All day long, he's a 5-pounder.
Someday he will be.
Yeah, well, someday he will be. That's right. Unless you put him in the skillet.
Yeah, this one's going to go back. You might have to have the pliers on him.
Get hooked good?
Yeah.
The way you want them. We got a double willow leaf.
Yeah, here.
Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait on is what we're fishing with. And the great thing about our spinnerbaits is no matter what size you get, a 3/8 or a half, we put a little bit larger blade on there. So it's got an upsized blade on it, which allows you to, I think that the little bit larger blade on there, whether it's a round blade or a willow leaf blade, helps you catch a little bit larger fish, and it doesn't keep the small fish off. And I like to use a combination gold and silver. Sometimes I put the gold on the end, sometimes I have the silver on the end. Doesn't really make any difference, I don't think. Oh, did you see that and come up and get that? Man, what a strike. Oh, look at him pull. I mean, he come right to the top of the water and got it. I mean, right to the top of the water. Oh, my goodness, look at that. That's a nice fish right there, buddy. That is a good fish right there. Boy, and he is stuck. Look at the belly on that booger.
When they hit them, they're hitting them, aren't they?
They're crushing it. I mean, the fish are biting right as good right now as I've seen them bite anywhere in a couple of years. And it's this hurricane weather around here that's causing it. It's amazing. And ooh, that is a dandy right there. And they're biting out here.
What's behind you?
Oh, don't you tear my hummingbird off of there. They're biting out here. They're in the grass. It seems like to be smaller ones. They're coming up, but the deeper ones. Now, I was in 19 foot of water right there. 19 foot of water. 19 foot of water, and the fish coming right up the top and getting it. Right up to the top and getting it. Yes. Come on top and got that bait. They're not giants, but they're nice fish. I mean, we're smoking a nice fish.
It's a good side of the boat, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah. It's a pretty nice fish. Ow! Golly! Ah! He flopped and that blade hit me. That spinnerbait blade hit me, and I mean, it busted my knuckle. He says, "You're complaining, I got a hook in my mouth." Look at the belly on that booger, will you? Let me tell you, you know, when the pressure is moving really, really fast, either going up or going down, it's going down right now. Pressure is diving down right now as this cold front. It's not a cold front, it's basically a hurricane that's coming in here. It's inland, and of course it's not a hurricane, but I looked at it on the weather. I looked at it on the weather yesterday, and it was spinning out in the Pacific Ocean off California. It was spinning out there, and it was spinning around. Oh, did you see that? I'm talking.
You were just hanging out over the side.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They're all the nice thing size. Just really nice fish. Joe, we are smoking them, baby doll. We are having our way. Oh, with these bass. Ah. Oh my goodness. Look at there. He's hooked on the outside of the mouth. Look at there. Let me tell you, if the bass don't get to the Legend Spinnerbait, the Legend Spinnerbait will get the bass. Look pretty good too. Boy, those are just gorgeous.
This portion of Jimmy Houston Outdoors has been brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Jimmy Houston Outdoors, America's favorite fishing show, is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Mercury Marine, go boldly. By Shell Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you do. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices every day.
Oh, there's your striking clear water. I mean, a striking clear calm water. May not get many, but that one was full. That one was full. Big time. Oh, he's out of the mouth. No, he's in the mouth. Yeah, he got it in the mouth. Boy, those are just chunks. Every one of them are chunks.
A little feisty one.
Pretty dang nice one. We got to get out in the wind. Joe's catching fish back there, not saying a word, just quiet. Just sitting back there. I don't even think he's paying attention when he caught that one, really. I think he was half asleep. That's the biggest one you caught all day, isn't it?
I think you're right there.
You called him a little one. That's a good one.
Probably. The second largest.
Well, we're getting a few bites back here in the calm water. There's no doubt about that because.
Yeah. You know what, Blake?
Oh, that was pretty. That was gorgeous. Man, he come up here and ate that. That's a nice fish. There's a nice bass right there. Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Okay. Very nice.
Come here, baby. That's the biggest one I've caught. Ooh, man. That's the biggest one I've caught right there. Oh, yeah. That's bigger than the one Joe caught, as a matter of fact.
Sure it is. That's a nice fish.
You know, the weather is sort of moderated a little bit, and I don't know what the deal is, but the fish has slowed down. I mean, you know, they're still biting, but we're going a lot longer in between bites right now. We actually fished 2 or 3 areas where we didn't even get a bite at all, and I mean, fished out in some really water that had a lot of wind blowing on it. The wind has actually died down a little bit, which kind of tells me that probably we're somewhere around where that thing's rotating around, and we're in a lot calmer situation than we were earlier.
There he was, did the same thing, Jimmy. He kept hitting it from that stick up out there.
Oh, really?
I bet he hit it.
I didn't know you had a fish.
I bet he hit it 4 times.
Really?
He just kept slowly. He was testing.
Maybe it was 4 different fish.
Should have been. He was testing the water, no pun intended.
No, it was. That's the same one. They're just aggressive. I'm telling you, they're just aggressive.
Come on.
These storms have just got them going crazy.
That's on the short side a little.
I'm really kind of surprised we hadn't caught at least a 5-6 pounder.
I think he
God,
got
what a
his
gorgeous-
message across.
Boy, you talk about a strike. That was it right there, man. That clear, calm water. And that fish come up there and dominoed. I'm talking about dominoed on that thing. They're just borderline too big to raise in. Not really. I flip 6 or 7 pounders sometime in the tournament if I'm really in a rush and depending on what I'm hooked on. And I think they're hooked good. My philosophy is to get them in the boat as quick as possible. Oh,
That's what I was. You got my fish. That's where I was lining up the throw.
your fish.
That's where I was lining
He's
up
on the green reel, not the orange reel.
Oh,
You don't fool with them that
I
size,
even
Joe.
had my rod ready to go, my lure ready to go.
Whee! Gee whiz. We have caught some fish now, I'm telling you. We have caught some fish. If you get a chance to go fishing when these fronts are coming in, that's always the best. We love it in tournaments. Even though we know that we're probably going to get wet before the day's over, we're probably going to have to dodge thunder and lightning. The water's probably going to be rough as all get out, but we know that the fish are going to bite
There we
good,
go.
and that's
That was a
really
long
all
way
we
out
care
there,
about.
too.
About time this is the area where we were catching so many out over the deeper water, and we come through here and hadn't had a bite in a little while.
He didn't want to come up. That's okay.
But I think they've slowed down a lot for it. You know, this morning they were just biting. I mean, they were smoking it. That barometer probably was
wasn't as big as I
really,
thought
really
it was.
moving down. And now it's probably stabilized a little bit. Still low, but it's just low now. It's not moving like it was. That barometer had to be really, really falling. God, that was something
Well,
the way
that's
they were
nice,
biting.
but the way he pulled and stayed down, I thought it was a
Thought it was a
larger
giant. See that fish is out here over about probably 10 foot of water.
one. That's what it is.
Where we really kind of hit that hot little spot was where we had the deep water that come in really closest to the bank.
Jimmy's Look Back is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time.
I came to Bienville Plantation in around White Springs, Florida, in northern Florida, last year to do bass fishing show, and we got to catching these big giant crappie like this, and all I could think about was my buddy Joe. Now Joe, as everyone knows, is a drum fishing expert. He catches drum, but he loves to catch crappie, and he's not a bad crappie fisherman. He's not a good crappie fisherman, but he's not a bad crappie fisherman. And so I thought if I could get him at Bienville, Joe can catch some big crappie. And Joe's great at opening a live well too, Joe. So if you'll just do.
I can handle that for you.
No, you can't. That's an ice box.
That's refreshments for the fish.
Shut that. I hope one of those. Whoa, Joe!
Well,
I like that. Oh, well, if we catch a few that size,
that's a dandy. We need some more of those.
my Indian's gonna be happy when I
Were you
come
fishing
home.
the shallow side or the deep side?
I told you I'd have to kill you. Huh?
Huh? Since you've been fishing
I
both
was
sides,
fishing the deep side of that point.
that's what I thought you were.
It drops off. Fish was not very deep. It drops off into about 8 foot of water. It drops from about 3 down to 8. I think we should be able to catch a few. No, we can catch one. Surely that girl wasn't in there by herself. Oh, Joe, they're right on that drop off. Right when you drop off to.
Well, I was watching where you want to.
Right when you drop off to 8 feet. That's where they are. Right at that 8 foot drop off. This is a nice crappie.
That's a mate to the other one.
That's a baby compared to that other one, isn't it?
Oh, that's. There you go.
Joe's got to get involved in the game. Open the lid there, Joe.
I'm busy here.
Joe, open the lid for
Just
me.
a second now. You just. Hold the lid there for me, Jimmy.
Look at, God, did you see the size of that crappie? You had a crappie twice as big as the one I caught.
Jimmy's Look Back has been brought to you by Ranger Boats.
It's been a while since we had a bite.
Yeah.
Go over here and found a fish. Jump up there and bite that spinnerbait. I think that there's going to be a better bite. Is that unstable atmosphere gets closer and closer, the barometer is probably as low as it's going to get, maybe, I don't know. But boy, it's a fat, nice fish right there. You know, I've seen nothing sticking out of any of them's throats, though. Like crawfish tails or shad tails or bluegill tails or bass tails. Or
Slow down just a little here.
what you got there, Joseph? Maybe they're starting to turn on a little bit.
This one was down really deep.
Was he? Had your bait down deep?
Yeah.
I had mine right on the surface. Of course, mine was much larger than that.
Yeah, that's true. I will admit that.
You know, we're really, you know, I mean, I think we got a lot of fish that's moving a long way to get to bait. You know, whether, you know, most of them come, well, I caught mine with it all in sight. I've seen them all hit it. You've been running yours a lot of different depths, which is good. But I think some of those fish are coming from a long way off. They can see that boat, you know, those studies we did down to OU with the color and the color selector, they can see those baits 30 and 40 feet away. Oh, man. He come off the edge of that little point. It don't matter. It don't matter how many years you fish. A point is probably one will catch you fish all the time, no matter what, any time of the year. A point of grass, a point of rocks, a point of land, a point of any kind. If you got grass like this, and now we're finally in some grass that's coming all the way up to the surface. And in fact, it's kind of hard to, some of these you can't hardly find a thing to throw this spinnerbait.
There, he hit right
Obviously
there,
not
Jimmy.
the best bait to be using right here.
Right at the edge, yes.
Tried to pull you out of the boat,
They're
didn't
not that big, but they're sure feisty little levels.
Trying to pull you out of the boat.
You'd think they're bigger than they are. Man, they're strong.
That's a pretty nice fish. That's a pretty nice fish.
He hit right there. He's
right
not
there
through
by the boat.
jumping. I'm afraid he don't think he's through.
That's
I don't think
pretty
he's
nice
through.
fish. You gonna get him or fall in? Whichever comes first, huh?
Yeah.
Whichever comes first. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, he was a little chunkier than what I
Yeah,
thought.
he's about the biggest one you caught all day, I
You
think.
said right off the
I
edge.
can't believe we hadn't at least caught one 5 or 6 pounder or 7 pounder.
Anyway, that's the way it was. And
Oh, there he is. Boy, he smashed it. I mean, smashed it. Come here, baby. Pretty nice fish.
Jimmy, you're picking them right off the side of that, aren't you? That moss.
That right there was right in that grass. Come off that grass.
Yeah.
Boy, they are pretty. Golly, they're pretty fish. We could have caught fish on a lot of different baits today, Joe, I'm sure, but boy, hadn't it been fun to catch them on these legend spinnerbaits. I mean, they have dominoed on them. A lot of really nice fish, too. I mean, no giants. Kind of waving his little fin at me. It's just blowing the wind, actually.
They're pretty healthy.
Yeah, I am. Oh, I saw you miss that one.
Jimmy Houston Outdoors is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. By High Seas, when the money's on the line. By Jackson Kayak, Advantage Fisherman. By Orion Coolers, never lose your cool. And by Lucky Strike, where preparation and opportunity collide. Houston's Helpful Hints is brought to you by Jimmy Houston High-Tech Performance Fishing Rods.
We talk all the time about weather and how weather affects the fish, and it really does. I tell you, a guy asked me the other day, he said, how come the sunshine and how come the rain, how come that affects the fish? How come the barometric pressure affects them? They're underwater. So, you stop and think about that, you kind of wonder, but it's got a major effect on them. But how do you react depending on what's happening? We've talked a lot about how the pressure, once it's moving real fast one way or the other, expands fish's strike zones, and it causes them to bite a lot better. It's just some of the very best time to go fishing. But what do you do? What do you do when that happens? I mean, what's your best plan of action as a fisherman out there? What I like to do is I like to go to some baits that I can cover a lot of water. I can make as many casts as I possibly can, and I just really just get after it. I mean, just get real excited and try to get your bait as many fish catching possibilities as often, because nearly every fish that's out there, if you get that bait close to him, and sometimes close is like 10 or 15 feet, they're going to come and get it. We had an unusual situation today. We're catching fish on a Jimmy Houston spinnerbait, 20 foot deep, running the bait right on top of the water. And but these fish, now they might not have been 20 foot. No way you could ask them and have them tell you. They might have been 5 foot or 10 foot or wherever. They could have been all the way down 20 foot. They can see the bait easy, but they don't normally have a strike zone of 20 foot. When you have a barometer that's moving fast down or fast up, and the best is moving fast down. You see that barometric pressure moving, rocketing down. It's usually always in front of these storm type systems. The worse the storms, the faster it'll normally move. I'm not a weatherman, but just notice that that'll happen. And here's the deal. If you get a chance to go fishing on these kind of days, by golly, go. Be careful, because they deteriorate in a hurry. We've got weather, tornado warnings out right now, damaging wind warnings out, hail warnings. We've not even heard a rumble of thunder, but it could be 15, 20 minutes from now, it could change just like that. So the other thing, don't go too far away from the boat ramp. Stay within a few miles where you can get back quickly.
Well, it's late in the day and the sun's getting low. Caught me a big one, but I let him go. I sure had fun just watching him stretch my line.